Our next guest, thanks to our hosts at Tarlow Breed Hart Rodgers, is Michael Radin, member and in the corporate real estate practice of Tarlow Breed. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you. Glad to be here, Jeff.
Now, you're going to talk to us about contractor status, correct?
Yes.
Why don't you first tell us a little bit about yourself, and then maybe we'll get into the topic.
So I've been doing corporate finance law for 20 some odd years now, getting gray over it and, pulling out my hair sometimes every morning, every day. So I've seen a lot of different companies, a lot of different industries, and a couple of themes that seem to emerge that as everybody continues with their career, we're not getting younger, and people think about, I want to sell my business, and what are issues I need to think about.
Tell us about the contractor law, because this is an area of the law that it seems like everybody's making a mistake in, and the penalties can be quite harsh.
You are absolutely correct there, Jeff. As someone told me several years ago, beware of any state that calls itself a commonwealth, and Massachusetts falls in that category. Most people think that you can have contractors anywhere in the country, assuming that you can meet sort of a generally recognized 20-factor test or control test to determine whether someone is considered your employee or your independent contractor 1099. Unfortunately, Massachusetts changed that law in 2004, and in Massachusetts we have a unique wage and hour statute that requires that you look at whether the person you're hiring is helping you in your core business. So let's say, for example, if you're a dentist and you want to hire someone to help as doing dental hygiene, teeth cleaning, here in Massachusetts, you would be in the same line of business as a dentist, as the hygienist. In another state, if you had someone who was part-time who worked for multiple dentist offices, it might be possible, depending on how you structure using that hygienist, to treat them as a 1099. So if you are a company coming into Massachusetts from out of state, you may have a system set up that works in other states but doesn't work here in Massachusetts because that hygienist is part of your business.
Doesn't this law sort of it's an inhibitor for out-of-state companies to move to Massachusetts? I understand if you're living here and you start a business, you don't really have a choice. But if you want to come into Massachusetts, it would give you second thoughts, wouldn't it?
It would. Your margins are going to be different because your cost of doing business will be higher. You're going to have workers' comp. You may have benefits. And, of course, with the Affordable Care Act, or Massachusetts' own version of that, providing health coverage for your employees adds significantly to the cost, which in turn may require you to charge more if you're in the B2C world to the consumer so that you can recoup some of those costs. Yes, it is an inhibitor, and the law was originally passed in 2004 when the Big Dig was sort of in full tilt, and a lot of these local small contractors needed to staff up with electrical contractors, plumbers, and the government in the State House, in its infinite wisdom, without a lot of debate, passed a law that basically closed the door on, say, an electrical contractor who needs 20 people to help with wiring in the Big Dig, bringing on those 20 people without giving them any benefits or treating them as W-2 or avoiding withholding tax that the employer typically has to do. So the law got passed to cover that. And to say the least, the law of unintended consequences now, approximately 10 years later, has class action lawyers out there suing janitorial franchise companies or Uber, claiming that the folks that actually provide the service are really employees of the janitorial franchise company or Uber. The penalties for getting this wrong under the wage and hour statute are triple damages automatically, plus attorney's fees. Hence the reason why it's become an attractive area for plaintiffs' lawyers to sniff around and bring these cases.